Hello guys, welcome to Football Manager 2023. Today we're going to be doing another tactic test. We're going to be doing another one by Delicious the Assembler. It's another one that I've used over in my European Journeyman save. You can find that in the top corner. A link to that series if you want to keep up to date with what we're doing in our European Journeyman. Now this is similar to the last tactic test I've done. I've got 8 teams loaded across 4 different nations, so we're going to see how we do in each and every one of them. The first nation you can see here that we've got loaded is Sunderland, but we'll have a quick glance over the tactic first of all to see what's involved really. It's similar to the other one that we've used by Delicious the Assembler, but we've swapped the inverted forwards for advanced forwards, so we're very 4-3-3 now. The rest of the squad is the same, the rest of the roles. Sweeper keeper on defend, tackle harder. Pretty self-explanatory really. A sweeper keeper on defend really, isn't he? He just sweeps up behind the back 4. Every single one of the players has got tackle harder in their player instructions. It seems to work well in Football Manager. You do pick up a lot of yellow cards, depending on the quality of your players as well. You do pick up a lot of red cards, unfortunately. But it's just one of the caveats of sort of the tactic, but it does work well. Wing backs on support, very, very important. They're on stay wider, both of them, on both sides, stay wider. And tackle harder. Now these wing backs are vital to this tactic working because we've lost these advanced forwards, so these wing backs are basically responsible for the entire width of the pitch really. These advanced forwards do drop back a little bit and help out, but defensively not so much. So the wing backs are really, really important. You need to have some really good attributes for these wing backs. You need some good natural fitness, some good pace as well. You also need good dribbling, good crossing of the ball, because they do put a lot of crosses into the box, and also they need to be good defensively as well. Ball playing defenders on defence dribble more and tackle harder, so we're looking for those ball playing defenders to carry the ball out of defence. The defensive midfielder on defend will drop back in, fill that gap left by one of the defenders dribbling out of defence. But I quite often see my central defenders dribbling way up past the halfway line with the ball. So surprisingly, dribbling is quite an important attribute for a defender to have. Obviously, you've got your usual defensive attributes like your tackling, your heading, your marking, positioning. They need to be good at passing as well, decent pace again, and decent dribbling. So they're both on dribble more and tackle harder. Moving into the midfielder, we've got a defensive midfielder on defend, pretty bog standard, just tackle harder. He's there to sweep up in front of the defence and drops in, like I say, once one of those ball-playing defenders does decide to carry the ball out of defence. Now, similar to the previous tactic, we've got 2 Segundo Volantes on attack. Again, both on tackle harder. They do their defensive duties. They also fill in this space across here very nicely. They carry the ball forward. They make some passes. They make runs into the box, which for defensive midfielders is pretty good. Now, Segundo Volante does need to be good going forward and backwards. Again, they need to have good finishing, passing, tackling. I find that the best Segundo Volantes on attack are attacking midfielders who have got a little bit of defensive ability about them, and you convert them to those Segundo Volantes because they've already got the forward attributes. But if they've got, depending on what level you're playing at, sort of mid-range tackling and positioning, stuff like that, then they do very well as these Segundo Volantes on attack. But they're quite vital to how this formation works. Defensive midfielders in FM23 are very, very important. And having these 2 players making runs into the box, filling in this space here as well, because we're not playing with an attacking midfielder, so they do fulfil this space, but then they do have defensive duties as well. Now, up the top, we've got 3 advanced forwards. They are all on tackle harder, obviously moving to channels, stuff like that. I tend to play with these 2 swapping positions as well, which you can do up here in the player tactics. If you pick this position, you can swap with another one, and they'll swap positions periodically throughout the game. Confuses the defenders, stuff like that. But so these advanced forwards make those runs into the channels. They do drop into this sort of area to come collect the ball, but you're really looking for those 3 to put pressure on the defence and try and win the ball back high up the field. These guys will put the pressure on. These guys here will also put the pressure on as well. And having 3 forwards, it's a good goal scoring opportunity as well. So that's the tactic. We've got, like I say, we've got 8 teams across 4 different nations. We've got Sunderland, same as the last tactic test. They're all sort of mid-table teams, expected to finish mid-table. So we've got Sunderland, Tottenham maybe not so much mid-table, but Fiorentina, Reggina, Hibernian, Cove Rangers, Valencia and Malaga again. We'll just have a quick look at Sunderland. Obviously, they're expected to finish down in 12th. They are newly promoted through the playoffs. Those of you who know me know that I'm a Sunderland fan, so that's why we've chosen Sunderland. So we're going to go through to the end of the season and we're going to have a look and see how each of these teams do. Right, guys, welcome back. We're going to start off with Tottenham. I made a mistake with Sunderland. When I holidayed forward, I forgot to change their tactic to the new one. So they've actually played with the previous tactic. Unfortunately, my apologies, I forgot to do that. They did finish second, though, behind Norwich in the table, which was really, really good. So, unfortunately, Sunderland is a bit of a moot point, really, because I'm an idiot, basically, and I forgot to change it. In terms of Tottenham, though, let's have a look at Tottenham. They have finished in 4th place in the table with 73 points. Liverpool have absolutely blitzed the lead. They've won the league by 22 points. Okay. In terms of Tottenham, though, pretty decent season, as we can see there. 4th position. They are, Tottenham are a pretty decent side, but they are predicted to finish 7th, so they have overachieved in the league. In terms of the league, top scorer, Haaland's scored 43, the cheat code there. Surprisingly, there's no Harry Kane in this, but in terms of how the squad themselves have actually done, Harry Kane did get 23 goals in 42 appearances, which is a decent return for Harry there. Pretty decent. His strike partners were Heung-min Son, 19 goals from 48 games. Could be better, but he's more of a, for me, Son's more of a sort of an inside forward as opposed to an actual forward. And then we've got Perisic with 13 goals in 21. Now, I'm going to assume that Perisic has been playing as a striker in this. He's played 36 games as a striker with 13 goals. Again, Perisic is not a striker for me. So this tactic does, obviously, you have to buy the players to suit the tactic. It's not a plug and play unless you've already got the players in position. But it's done quite well with Tottenham there, the 4-3-3. They've had a decent result. Let's quickly see what our assistant thinks the best 11 would actually be. It's Kulusevski as the other advanced forward. Now, Kulusevski has got 9 goals in 42, which is not a great return, really. But Kane and Son have done quite well. These defensive midfielders, again, have had a decent season. Ratings-wise, not so great, but they have managed to finish 4th place in the Premiership, which is higher than they should be, really. They're above Chelsea, Newcastle, Arsenal, not far behind Man City, only a point behind Man City, which, again, is a decent return, considering that Haaland scored 43 goals by himself. Is not too bad. In terms of how many goals they actually scored, Tottenham, they scored 69, which is the 3rd highest in the league, which is pretty decent. Again, they have conceded a lot of goals, though. They're down. Actually, it's not too bad, really. It's the 4th best defence in the league as well. So they've got the third highest scorers in the league. They're the 4th best defence in the league. It's actually worked quite well with Tottenham. They've picked up 20 wins across the season from 38. Only lost 5, 13 draws in there, which is probably where they fell down. Just how did they get on in Europe? Obviously, UEFA Champions League, they've made it to the final. How did they do in their group? It's the previous Champions League format here. So they've finished top of a group with Real Madrid, Napoli and Marseille in it, which is very good. They got through the round of 16. They got through in the quarter-final. They were knocked out in the semi-final by Real Madrid. So again, it's worked pretty well for them. They've got to the semi-final of the Champions League. Right, now moving on from Tottenham, we'll move on to our next. Oh, we don't have a job. KJMFM, manager of Fiorentina, has been sacked. Fiorentina finished 9th in Serie A. Faith Terim is the manager now. Whereabouts did we lose our job? It appears to be in here. Yeah. We did quite well in the Conference League. We got them out of the group stages there. We did then lose to FC Nantes in the round of 16. So that brought an end to European competition for us. And not great for Fiorentina. Losses to Torino, Brianza, Sampdoria, Roma, Spezia, Atalanta, 3 losses in a row there, a draw, a loss, a Sassuolo. Okay, and that just, like I say, guys, it's not a plug-and-play tactic. You have to go and sign the players to play in the positions, and Gonzalez is 21 in 43. Of course, we don't know how many he scored while we were the manager of Fiorentina. So it hasn't worked at Fiorentina. Unfortunately, they have finished 9th in the table. So we'll move swiftly on from Fiorentina on to Reggina, who have finished top of the table by 20 points. Absolutely fantastic for Reggina there. So it's worked really, really well with Reggina. Let's just have a look at the league table. 38 games played, 28 wins, 8 draws, only 2 defeats, 91 goals for, 18 against. A positive goal difference of 73, which is 51 better than the next team. And 92 points for Reggina is absolutely fantastic. In terms of their players, the top goal scorer's got 25 and 35. It is Rigoberto Rivas. He's had a fantastic season, despite his finishing not being too great, but he's got 24 and 32 in Serie B, which is a great return for a striker there. 13 and 12, a defender with 13 goals here. He's got 13 in all competitions. What positions he played? He's played defender, centre. So he's obviously getting some goals from corners and stuff like that. Is Riccardo Gaglioli. But Reggina, it's worked really, really well with Reggina. Again, they must have the players who can play in the positions that we need them to play. And they've got some good strikers, some good defenders, some good defensive midfielders by the looks of it. And that just reiterates the point, guys, that you do need to sign these players to play in these positions. It's not just going to work straight away. But it is a fantastic tactic if you get the right players in the position, as we can prove here with Reggina. Moving on. Dean doesn't have a job. He unfortunately has lost his job. He was the manager of Hibernian, so things clearly haven't gone quite well as planned at Hibs. We can't unfortunately see whereabouts we lost our job because it's not showing me the formation that we've played, but I would imagine that after this dismal run here, yeah, you can see that we've had a new manager in place by there because that's not our formation, but we've had an absolute dismal run at Hibs again, so obviously the players not quite fitting into the tactic here at Hibs. So again, we'll move swiftly on from Hibs to Cove Rangers. Of course, they were newly promoted to the Scottish Championship. You can see that they've finished in 4th position, which is a brilliant season for Cove Rangers. Let's have a look at the season preview for Cove. They're predicted to finish way adrift at the bottom, and they've finished 4th place, which is great. Some of the results over the season have been fantastic. They've unbeaten start to the season, going 7-8 unbeaten there before finally losing to Partick Thistle. They had a little bit of a downward turn in form then, and it was a little bit patchy throughout the season. Oh God, it was really patchy here. So without that little patchiness there, without this, they could have been pushing higher up the table, and they've managed to finish themselves in 4th position, which is fantastic for Cove Rangers, considering they're newly promoted. They're supposed to finish way adrift at the bottom. 16 wins in 36 games, 6 draws, 14 defeats. But they have scored the most goals in the league, which is fantastic. In terms of goals against, they have conceded a lot as well. In fact, they've conceded the most. They've conceded the most. So with some better defensive players there, Cove Rangers could have had a much better season. In terms of goals, Mitch Megginson with 29 in 45 for the 30-year-old there is a really good return for Mitch. Unfortunately, nobody else really helping him out. Connor Scully, 7 in 42, but look, where's he played this season? He has played as a defensive midfielder, so possibly one of the Segundo Volantes there for Connor. Let's have a look at him as a Segundo Volante on attack. He does have the attributes to play in that position, which is pretty good. Cove do have a really small squad though, which is something to bear in mind. Like I say, you do have to make sure that you've got these players in place. In fact, I think there's only actually 2 strikers at the club. Gime Torre has not played this season really. He's joining Châteauroux as well. So they've only had 1 striker and they've still managed to score the most in the league, which again is the tactic doing its thing. Right, moving on to Spain and Valencia. Valencia finished second in the table, 1 point behind Barcelona. How good is that? How good is that? They have beaten Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, and they finished just a point behind Barcelona. That is absolutely fantastic. In terms of goals, let's have a look. Top scorers in the league, 85, which is great. Against, is that the third best defence in the league as well. 27 wins from 37 games, 8 draws, only 2 defeats for Valencia. So Valencia squad is obviously quite capable of playing this tactic. It's worked really well for Valencia. In terms of goals at Valencia, top scorer Justin Clive at 21 in 23, which is fantastic for Justin there. Really, really good performance. 18 for Samuel Lino, 10 for Musa. Cavani only picking up 7, which is a little bit of a disappointment for Cavani. He's played 23 games and only scored 7 goals. Cavani's a very good player. I know he's getting on a bit now, but in terms of assists, Jose Gaia from left back by the looks of it, picking up 19 assists, which again is unbelievable. 13 for Yunus Musa, who has possibly been playing as a defensive midfielder. Indeed, he has 40 games as a defensive midfielder there. Average rating wise, 7.38 for Cavani. So Cavani, despite not scoring too many goals, has had a really good season, and as have Valencia. Do Valencia have European competition this season? I forget. No, they didn't. So that's really good for Valencia, considering they were predicted to finish. It says 4th on there, but it's actually lower than that at the start of the season. But second place for Valencia, so it's done really well over in Spain. Right, last team is Malaga, and they have won the league. They've won the league, so again, it's worked well at Malaga, winning the league by 6 points there. In terms of goals, let's have a quick look. 91 scored for Malaga, which is by far and away the most in the league. In terms of goals against, it's pretty poor defensively. But they have managed to win the league quite comfortably by 6 points. Like I say, Malaga predicted to finish down around about here in mid-table. So again, it's worked really, really well at Malaga, guys. Schedule-wise, they've obviously dropped points towards the end of the season. They had a fantastic start again, losing 1 there, then going on another massive unbeaten run, which is great. So Malaga have done really well. In terms of the squad, goals-wise, we've got 28 and 46 for Lago Junior. Fantastic return there for Lago Junior. 28 again for Ruben Castro in 42. So with 2 decent strikers, guys, at least 2 decent strikers, you can score the goals there. Alex Gallett has got 10 in 34. Again, another striker. Assist-wise, 22 from defensive midfield for Aleix Fibas. 16 for Lago Junior. So he's got the goals and the assists. He's done really well there. Munoz, again, with 13. And Gala, the wing-backs, surprisingly, not too many. The right wing-back there, Julian Delamash, has got 10. The left wing-backs only picked up 4, though, in 41 appearances. So maybe with some better wing-backs there, Malaga could have done much, much better. So, yeah, it's like I say, guys, and I've said a couple of times throughout the video now, if you've got the players to play in the positions, this tactic is really, really good. Unfortunately for the likes of Fiorentina and Hibernian, they unfortunately didn't have the players, and I messed up with Sunderland, which is my fault. I don't think Sunderland have got 3 strikers anyway. but yeah, guys, there's a tactic. Like I say, give it a try. I'll leave a link in the description for the download. It does work really well. Like I say, if you find those players to play in those positions, Segundo Volante wise, an attacking midfielder with good defensive attributes, retrain them as that Segundo Volante on attack. It works really well. Dribbling on your defender centres, again, so they can carry the ball out. It's not overly important. If they don't carry the ball out, they don't carry it out. But advanced forwards, pace. Pace is huge in FM23. It's huge in any FM. But pace on your advanced forwards, get some balls in behind. In terms of the actual team instructions, I didn't go through these at the start. We do play with shorter passing. A standard attacking width. We pass into space, looking to get those advanced forwards on the ball. We focus play down the wings, but we also underlap to the left and the right. This is to bring the Segundo Volantes and the advanced forwards into play. Higher tempo as well, and we run at the defence. We do carry the ball, and we put them under pressure by running at them. Transition, it's roll it out, distribute quickly, counter press, standard Football Manager stuff. In terms of out possession, we do play with a higher defensive line, and we also play with a high press. So that high defensive line, it's really important that your defenders have got some pace about them so that they can get back for any balls knocked over the top to them. But again, usual Football Manager stuff, get stuck in. We trigger the press much more often. It's gegenpress, really. It is very much gegenpress. But with the positions, we're unbalanced as well. It's good, guys. Give it a try. Download it. Delicious the Assembler. He makes some good tactics. We'll be looking at a few more of his in the future as well. But guys, thank you very much for watching this. If you do like the tactic, let me know your results in the comments. I'd like to see how you get on. Any tips you need about it, any sign of players, stuff like that, again, let me know in the comments. But please remember to hit that thumbs up button for me, guys. We're trying to grow the channel as much as we can. Hit the subscribe button as well. You can also check out my European Journeyman save over there on my channel. But guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you all next time. So, cheers, guys. Catch you later.